Yo, let me tell you about the lore.
Hello and welcome back to Season 1, Episode 7 of Super Lore Boys, a podcast defined by not just the players, but also the other community members of our game. And I'll be your host, Riz1, aka Riz Goldblum, and joining us this time we have the Yogaboy, aka the ST Encyclopedia, aka Don't Leave Your Girl at Home. What's up?
Hey, what's up? Nice to be here. Good. It's 10 a.m. here or something like that.
It's 2 a.m. for me almost, but we'll be all right.
You promise me you won't fall asleep or something like that?
No, I'll be good. Yeah, don't bore me with your stories. I know you have a lot of exciting stories, so we'll be okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, first off, how's life right now in Spain? Are you in Spain?
Yeah, I'm in Barcelona. And like people are kind of like getting nervous here because they are like government are like deciding whether to do again like a complete lockdown. Like apparently we are in the second wave of the virus, so like they are like trying to apply drastic measures, but people are like fed up with everything. So, but
seems like people don't want to be at home, but I think the whole world is kind of going through that right now. Same situation here, right? It's like, oh man, are we gonna have the second shutdown? But and people don't want to stay home. I mean, I hope you and your family are doing well, because it's just a very crazy, unpredictable time.
Yeah, nobody like close to me got the virus or anything, so far so good.
Yeah, I mean those statistics sound good when you don't know anyone who's gotten it. It makes you feel a bit more safe. But anyhow, this podcast isn't necessarily about that. We're gonna get into the nitty-gritty on how you got into the game. So starting off with your player card, your years playing. So first off, your name is Yogaboy. Years playing 7 years. So is that when you discovered ST is like just 7 years ago, or you discovered a while back and then started playing?
No, like I think it was, if it's ST specifically, it was like that year, and everything about the FGC and so on. But Street Fighter obviously was like part of my childhood when we had the arcades in Spain. So yeah, there's a whole story there. Do you want me to tell it?
No, I mean we'll get into it. Is that around the time that I met you then, 2013? Were you in New York at that time?
It was a year after. Yeah.
Okay, so I met you a year when you were into it. Yeah, I definitely want to hear like the whole backstory. We'll get into that in a little bit. And you already mentioned you're from Barcelona, Spain. And your favorite game is The Secret of Monkey Island. Is that like is it a new game, old game? I don't know. I never heard of it.
Come on, you read it. The way you read it, I knew that you didn't know the game. But
yeah.
No,
I thought you were trolling me, like you just made it up on the spot. Like you just made up a title. It's a real game.
Like a hidden message on that. No, it's one of those graphic adventures, probably one of the best ones, that was created in 1991. They didn't even have like voiceovers. So by LucasArts, the same ones that also created the Indiana Jones adventures. And in this one, you're a wannabe pirate. And yeah, they made like several parts, but the first two are like the ones that have the retro feel. And one quick thing, like, I mean, it's one of those things that people are like really into it. Even like it was the 30th anniversary last Friday, actually. So, but one of the things of the game is that it really put you into like it was kind of immersive, and people don't have an answer why it was that. And I have the feeling that it was because since you had to read the dialogues, I think it was part of when you read a book that you make up the rest of the things. It's not all given to you. So I had the feeling that was one of the tricks in the game, but unintentionally. But yeah, I what else I can tell you about the game? You should check it. You should check it out because yeah.
If you have a link to the correct video or whatever we can watch, just while you're talking about it, I can just display. I can just show the video so everyone knows. But I found it interesting that you said that the game was immersive, and I think that's pretty much what you ended up doing with ST. You just immerse yourself into the entire culture of the game, right? Like over the last couple of years. So maybe there's a connection there. I don't know, but that was like interesting to me.
Are you going on the psychology side that because we're gonna end up that we should blame my parents or something like that? Because,
yeah. The nature versus nurture. Yeah, let's blame your parents for getting you into ST.
Exactly.
I don't know. I feel like when we do these the player card info, you actually learn a lot more about the person. Like you're kind of telling a story about who you are based on things that surround your life. And this is a pretty obscure thing. Like you could have picked any game, but you picked this one. The Secret of Monkey Island, and maybe the reason why is how you get involved in other things that you enjoy. Not quite sure. For example, well, first let's just for your blood type, you never remember, I don't know, some vampire thing.
And actually, my parents were worried yesterday because I asked them, "It's like, do you remember my blood type?" And they're like, "Why?" They were thinking that something with the virus happened. And it's like, no, because there's this interview and the characters have this thing in their profile, and anyway, I had to explain a little bit, but
you gave them the lore.
Yeah. But, here's the link so you can believe me. But but the thing is that there are some pieces of data. I don't know how my mind works, but I can ever retain. And it happened to me also, like even if I lived in the US for 7 years, I could never remember my height in inches. I always my mind resorts to centimeters. Yeah. And even if I've done the conversion so many times, I never remember. It's like, how can that be? It's like...
What about Celsius to Fahrenheit? You got that conversion down?
No, I know that minus 50 Fahrenheit equals to minus 50 Celsius, but that's not useful. So
yeah. What are you gonna do with that info? Yeah, it's trash.
Yes. Yeah. No useful.
There's a fraction. You have to divide something and then subtract something, and that's how you get it. I don't know. I can't remember that stuff either. But I mean, we went through almost a whole season, and I actually don't know my blood type either. I'm just out here collecting everyone else's blood bank information.
It's a secret plan you have there.
Yeah. It's a Shadowloo tech. I'm gonna make cyborgs out of all you guys.
That's a true dictator.
Yes. And then, so your likes is tiramisu, pixels, and brunettes.
Yeah, is that spelled correctly?
Nah, I respelled it properly. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I wasn't sure because so Yogaboy spelled it as brunettes. I was like, what? I'm pretty sure you mean brunettes, and it's only because I know you. If I didn't know you, I would have thought it's like some
dessert.
Yeah, it's like a dessert or something. Oh yeah, I eat brunettes, but no, it's brunettes. Okay. So I like how you have a food, and then pixels is just kind of random, and then your woman of choice or whatever.
Yeah, I think that someone told me that you have to be selective, or at least to have some clear what you like. and I say, okay, let me think about it, and then I found a pattern there. So it's okay, that might be it.
Take out the brunettes and have some tiramisu, and then go back home and play Mario or Pac-Man or something. I don't know.
The whole story.
Yeah, and then your dislikes are missing out, smoking, and chaos. That's how did you come up with those?
Well, because yeah, like recently I had to tell someone about like how you say your defects, if that's the word, and I say like when what are the situations that make me nervous or put me out of my place, and sometimes there are things like missing out in the sense that what in New York they say the FOMO, right? The you know that something's going on somewhere and you're missing out because you're somewhere else or whatever, and then
Yeah.
I think it's very common in large cities where everything there's a lot of things going on, and yeah, that's one of the things that I have to work be aware of it when it happens, and just to learn how to not bother about it. It's like, oh damn it, I'm missing this out. And then smoking, I think that's because honestly, I never, I think I never smoked a whole cigarette in my life. So, but when I went to Japan, it was one of those things that I say, wait, what's going on here? It's like especially coming from the US, that they have the culture of no smoking. In Spain, it's now like that, but 15 years ago or 20 years ago, it was like Japan now, and it was surprising. And yeah, so in general, that's also a random thing, but it's part of me. And what did I say last? Chaos. Chaos, maybe it comes also from this, also in the character, trying to control things a little bit. I think it also reflects in Japan, because I saw a video recently of why Japanese cannot change the rules of whatever they have planned. And if you go to a McDonald's and ask them to remove some ingredient, they don't do it. And so, but the explanation, like, it seems absurd, because it's like, okay, use common sense instead. But then I thought, okay, since they don't like to say no and they don't like social conflict and they want to avoid it, they don't want to put themselves in a chaotic situation. It's like everything has to be like under control, or at least no surprises, right? And because if they change the ingredient for you, maybe a jerk comes back and say, well, I'm not going to pay now for everything because I have the whole thing. It's like, so I guess that they want to avoid that in all the situations. And I guess that maybe there will be less YouTube videos of fails and they have to provoke it. What's that program in Japan that they put a helmet and try to run obstacles and they crash and they fall?
I guess that like a game show.
Yeah. There's that very typical program that comes from Japan that they broadcast it in TVs around the world.
Oh yeah. What was the name of it?
Yeah.
Dang it! I know what you're talking about. It was like a. Well, then now there's a different version. It's like American Ninja Warrior they have.
Yeah.
But you're thinking of something else. Yeah.
I think that's their way of creating chaos, because they know that everything else they have it so much under control that that they need to laugh at random things that happen when someone tries to run from point A to B and it doesn't happen. So
yeah, I wouldn't have interpreted your definition of chaos in that way at all. I was thinking, well, if you dislike chaos so much, why do you like ST? Because that's all it is. But now I understand. Your perspective.
True.
All right, cool. Yeah, I think you already, painted a picture of yourself. You did your self-portrait. Now we know kind of who you are. So let's backtrack to the beginning. How you discovered Street Fighter.
Street Fighter was, so as I was saying, was the arcades in Spain, that it was similar to everywhere else, but in our case, we didn't have the competitive thing, like when people were playing, like I don't remember the first time I saw, it was probably World Warrior, my pronunciation. I had to do some enunciation exercises. So
wait, not to cut you off. How many languages do you speak, by the way?
No, just English. Like, I mean, Spanish and Catalan, because here we have two languages and you grow up bilingual. in the Barcelona area.
Okay.
But it took me like, I'm not very good at languages, so actually, although I studied it at school, I didn't learn it until I actually was in San Francisco. But it was kind of those situations where someone tells me "nice to meet you," and it's like, okay, what should I answer now? So it's like,
okay, thanks, bye.
Thanks, yeah. No, there are some funny situations with my English there. Like, I think the one I always say is that I thought that "up to you" it had the same meaning as "up yours," so I was using both expressions the same way, and it's like, no, when I found out, it's like, oh fuck, how many places?
People, what do you want to have for? They'd be like, oh, what do you want to have for dinner? Up yours.
Yeah. Literally, I with a cab driver. I remember that I did that. He was telling me, should we take this way or this way? And say, up yours. It's like
the brunettes will think that's a pickup line. You better be careful.
Yeah. Well, with girls, I had the same problem because someone in London, she told me, I told her, you like me, but actually I wanted to say, I like you.
Damn.
Because
so
in
aggressive.
Yeah, because in Spanish it's like we use it in a reflective way, the opposite way. So I said, you you like me, and she was like, what? Okay.
Damn. Yeah, I'm writing down all these pickup lines. Sorry, go on. So Street Fighter, it was World Warrior, and then I cut you off.
And there's that guy that stays there and beats the CPU, and everyone like watching. He was doing it with Ken. Obviously, we were like amazed by the graphics and how Ryu and Ken were breathing. Like, I remember someone saying, "What's going on?" They are standing there, and the way they are. The normal pose, the way they are like moving, like up and down. To us now, it's so obvious, but at the time it was like, what's the character like? Even without doing anything, it's moving in a way that is very, very characteristic. I don't know. So things like that, but this was the thing that everyone was playing against the CPU. I don't remember ever in the arcades seeing someone going one against each other. But somehow even it wasn't too much into the game, in the sense that if I played, it was like, okay, I was getting bit fast, but the story of the characters, there were magazines there, and probably was shortly after when they released it for Super Nintendo, and everyone wanted to have that at home. So there was a whole thing that really everyone was getting hooked to the game in some way or another. I remember having a magazine with posters of the characters, and one guy in my class, I think he came home or something, and he stole the magazine. And I saw the posters like maybe 2 years after in his room. He's like, "Fuck, you were the one who stole the posters." Yeah.
What an asshole.
Yeah. So funnily enough, I didn't play many games back then because I was maybe, I don't know, around my 15 years old. And
I thought you were going to say around my 50s. Oh, yo, you really are a vampire.
No, almost. But one thing that happened is that arcades there had like both the arcade machines and foosballs. And I saw that the foosball was always like 4 people. It had more like the social aspect, the real social aspect to it. So for some reason I switched to play football, and I started socializing with older people than me, and like it was my first probably from usually when you're a kid and maybe you're a little bit more introvert, it was my first thing to open up to people. And actually, I know that maybe I'm saying a shortcut here, but that's how I lost my virginity.
Oh, damn. Yeah. That's a completely different episode of this podcast. That's season 69 or something. But
No, it's just because I started playing football, and I found out about the competitive scene of football in Spain. So I started traveling because of
What
that.
the hell?
Yeah, of tournaments, and I hang out in one of in my town. There were no tourists because I don't know. There's nothing there, but it wasn't Barcelona. It's just a town next to Barcelona. But a little bit farther, there's another town that is all for the tourists. And hanging out with the football people, so to speak, and partying with them, there is where I partied and met started my first, not my first introduction to girls, but at least. But I remember that I was already 19 by then, so it was kind of late by today's standards. I don't know why, but that's why maybe I'm trying to compensate nowadays. But
You're trying to catch up now.
to catch up, yeah. Well, but I think I digressed a little bit because we're talking about the Street Fighter. Why?
Well, you're the one who keeps bringing it up.
That's true. That's true. Damn it! Can you cut that part? No, okay. So, well, here's the thing. So, with Street Fighter, actually, things were coming back like from time to time because I remember I didn't have a Super Nintendo, but then they released. I had a Mega Drive, and I remember there was I think it was a Champion Edition version for Mega Drive, and I got that
special Champion Edition.
Yeah, I remember getting that and playing for a while. It was like from time to time it was coming up, but it was always like short periods of time. But for some reason, me and most people had like very fond memories of the game. And it wasn't until many years later, around 2012, that's when I was living in San Francisco. I went there in 2007. And I was about to leave San Francisco, maybe months away of leaving, of moving to another place. And I think it was a random YouTube video that those times that you, I think Dan, they call it the rabbit hole, that you start like watching recommended videos.
Yeah.
And probably I saw the Moment 37 or something like that. And then I saw maybe the Tournament of Legends 1 or something that I saw, wait, is this game played competitively or what? What's going on? So it's still, and that's how I started to watch all these things. And so it's the coincidence was that it so happens that the 25th anniversary was happening at that time in San Francisco or San Bruno, very close to San Francisco. And I said, wait, fuck it, let's go watch it in person. And that was my first experience because that event, it was the Capcom anniversary with a lot of people there. It's like my first experience in any FGC event. Although I didn't meet Damdai or any, because instead of going by myself, which would have been the right thing to do, at that time I was with a girl there that I told her to...
Oh, here we go.
No, but...
Rabbit hole.
The rabbit hole. No, but she drove me there. But obviously she was with me the whole day, but as it usually happens, you're not... You're more like seeing if she gets tired of the whole thing, and then at some point you say, okay, let's leave. But if I knew that if it was going to be by myself, it would have been like, okay, I can stay here all day and maybe meet more people or whatever. So that was like actually I didn't meet anyone then. But yeah, I remember that I saw Arcadium doing the noob of GGPO or something like that, or something Queen of Noobs, because there was the King of GGPO and the Queen of Noobs, right, or something like that.
Yeah. And
that was my first tournament online, because I bought some My Flash stick, and then I remember that we were in a bracket with El Trouble and Tanya, probably Arcadium, and I think that even El Trouble wasn't playing Dalsin by then. I think he played with Ryu or something like that. and I played with Dalsim.
Man, back when back when Eugene was cool, right? When he wasn't a sim player yet. Go on.
Yeah, I know that you guys have something with sim. I heard that.
Hey man, I'm just saying. Well, you're the one who started out as Yogaboy, so wait, all right, you were originally a Dawson player too?
Yeah, I think that I think it was my first choice for some reason. And many people ask me, so I think that the name Yogaboy, it came for two reasons. One, because yoga and Dalsim made sense, but also because speaking of the rabbit hole, I saw that there are things like salsa classes or things like that are kind of like a how can I say it in the nice words? The place to be if you want to do some extra activity to meet people. So okay, I think everyone understands. So yoga was one of them because everyone was so much into yoga at that time. Now in Spain it's also like that, but there are trends that San Francisco gets it like a few years earlier. And at the time, I don't know, I had friends into yoga. I don't know why. And I was thinking, okay, maybe that's a catchy name that when you say to someone who's not in the FGC, they're not going to look at you like, what? Yoga? You do yoga? I don't know, something like that. And so, yeah, I think that was the reason also for the name. But many people ask me why I ended up with Blanca. Because I also tried Rio for a while, and I was getting frustrated by not getting the DPs out when you needed to have them. So, and probably didn't have the patience at the time, whatever, and maybe try other characters. But with Dalsim, I remember very vividly at that time that not El Trouble and some other players and on GGPO, they told me, no, because it's too complicated to start with and whatever. And I was enjoying playing Dalsim, but I was thinking, okay, these guys might be right. It must be too complicated to start with Dalsim because you have to learn so much or whatever. So it was kind of like discouraging me. And
thanks, Eugene. Thanks, man.
And then he gets to play Dalsim. What's going on? Maybe he didn't want more competition. I don't know. So.
He probably also told you to stay away from brunettes.
Maybe.
Thanks, Eugene.
Thanks, Eugene. Don't go for the blonde ones. Okay, but yeah. So I don't know. And I don't know. At some point, maybe by trying different characters or seeing maybe Komodo or something, then I ended up with Blanca, and somehow I enjoy it. I mean. Is one of those characters that is very frustrating and against Honda and so many other matchups. But you could say also that for Zangief or Kami. But the important thing is that while you're like in pain, if you're still having fun, and for some reason, so I'm having fun with the character. Not the only frustrating part is that I haven't never put the work or enough work to really evolve and improve on that, but still never got tired of playing it. And so, I think that's...
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, firstly, I think Yogaboy, the name is a pretty cool name, and it's easy to remember, and, you don't really think nothing too crazy of it. Oh, yeah, Yogaboy. Like, I hear the Japanese players call you very casually, so it's something that sticks. But I think in everyone's minds, they expect you to either be a Dawson player or be a Claw player. They don't expect you to be a Blanca player. I'm pretty sure it's a very popular opinion. It's like, why don't you play Claw? Like, you are a Claw and all that. But execution wise, you're almost at the same level, Blanca Claw, so you can definitely just like level up if you wanted to play Claw. But your gamer name is it's a mind game. It's crazy. The mix-ups are too real.
I've had kind of like a not, I wouldn't say bad experience, but something that I had to, like, sometimes in the same way that some people discourages you or encourages you to use a character. I remember that there was an interview where Komoda was saying that he would, I don't know how he said it, what words he used, but he said that he wanted to be kind of the ambassador of Blanca in the world, so other people can be, how are you going to say that, can be motivated to use that character and play that character and things like something along those lines. But there was a dinner last year where Komoda comes to me and say, why do you play Blanca? But in a way of saying, like, play another character. And say, because, like, in a way, maybe because he was seeing that I wasn't improving at all or whatever. And I say, Komoda, you said one time that you were like an ambassador wanting people to improve, to use the character. He thought for a second and said, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, you put him in his place. Actually, last year when we were all in Japan together, I don't know if you were there when I forget who was telling the story, but oh wait, you know what? Maybe Makiri is telling the story. I feel like I'm going to butcher it, but it was pretty much about Komoda, Kusumondo, like whoever was in Osaka at the time. Their whole goal was to be like the masters of their character. So like every week when you went, it was like, it wasn't so much about like who's the best player overall. It was like who's the best with their character that can just beat everyone. And then it wasn't until like Yaya showed up and then like started bodying everyone. And they're like who's this god? And you know, kind of like made them change the way that they were playing. I know I'm kind of butchering this story, so maybe if Makiri's in the chat or at some point later on, I mean it is like 2 a.m. for me, so my brain isn't 100% there, but it was interesting how the mentality was different. But that's why you got like those super strong, loyal character specialists in Osaka. You know, they were doing their thing, including Komoda. So yeah, for anyone who has a character that they like, you know, don't get discouraged when people tell you to pick a different character. Just play what makes you want to like enjoy the game. Yeah. And you know, I think everyone knows what their personal goal is. So for some people's goal is like, oh, I want to qualify for this tournament. For some people, it's I want to make top 8. For some people, it's, you know, I want to give a good player a run for their money. And for others, it's like, no, I want to win. And you know what your personal goal is, so no one else can tell you, like, you know what I mean? It's based. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say that Lord Jimmy Bones, in the last tournament of Legends, he told me, I don't know how many people he said that at that moment, but I felt like he was saying it to me, like, don't tell anyone, but if I get to top 5 or something like that, or top 8, I can't remember. He said, if I get to that, I'm going to retire. And he did. So he actually beat Komoda and someone else, and then he classified. He ended up like very high in the tournament.
Yeah, I think he got 5th because I think he beat Tanya for top 8 because she beat Kusumondo, so she advanced very far. You know. Putting one of the favorites, basically, Kusumondo was already in grand finals twice at that point. So shout outs to Miller. And then, Jimmy Bones beat her, and then he went on to beat Komoda. Yeah, I mean, we'll get him on the show one day. He's expressed interest. We've talked about it, so I'd like to hear his perspective. Yeah. It's unfortunate. I think a lot of people definitely want to keep seeing him play, but you know, he has his reasons, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing that we just talked about. Like, everyone has their personal goal, and you can't tell them otherwise. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people want him to keep playing, and you know, but it is what it is. So that's that. Yeah. But all right, cool. Yeah. So we selected. You know, we got your name, we got your character. We got, like, you know, your whole history between foosball competitions and, you know, brunettes and ST, or like going to tournaments. But what made you stick to ST? I mean, right now you could be doing a foosball, you know, podcast and talking about how you're the Shogatsu of foosball. But what made you like stick to this particular game?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a mixture of having that. I don't know if I didn't have all these memories from the arcade era. I don't know if it would be the same for me, but because the more I was knowing about the game, the more also I was learning about that it won't last forever, because or it might, but at least the way they were picturing to me is that, okay, when the arcades are over, especially in Japan, then the community is over, so to speak. And then I was thinking, okay, let's take advantage now, because I also knew that I missed some gold days from the TO Tournament of Legends 1, also some X-Mania Europe that they did also around 2012 and so on. So I'm saying, okay, I don't know, but there's that retro part of preserving the game, and then there's the new part of seeing it. Okay, the community, it's nicer than in the arcade era. We're not like with knives in the parking lot or something like that. People are very nice, and it so happened that you make circles of friends as well, not only in one place but in communities around the world. It could have been that second part. It could have been with any other game, I guess, but since it was with this one already, so might as well. I don't know. I guess that some people get into the game for a while and then go into the semi-retired mode. And I've had also my more intense days, but still getting motivated, because it has a lot of branches as well. Like in the way that here in Spain there wasn't a community, it was dormant. At least that I don't know if that's the right word. It was like a kind of like players that from the old days, and nothing organized. And having also that coming up here, it feels like there are many projects that you can do related to this. So at some point, it's, at least for me, it's more than the game itself. If I was only about the game or the competitive thing of the game, probably would have been a shorter lifespan for me. But since it has so many possibilities and things to do or help out, so I think that's a whole set of things that keep me motivated.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right there. And like the thing about this game is there's so much story behind it, just with the decades that it's been played. And we had obviously like the whole Japanese scene, and Europe was kind of like not really communicated about until you basically like started joining Europe and US and also like with Asia, like Japan. Mm-hmm. And then, on the US side, like obviously apart from, the OG players, like we had Noho who was able to like communicate what's going on about the game, what the tech is, what the top players are saying, what events there are. So it was important to have that. And I think that's what makes this game special. I'm pretty sure like, Third Strike and other games like Alpha Series, they also have that. But the way that it's accessible now, and, the fact that even all those players from back then are still playing is what makes it really cool. And like you said, we're trying to like preserve those stories. So that's one of my goals now too, is how can I like find, another way of doing what, like what Noho's doing, what you're doing, what Kuropi was doing, and, be able to like tell the story about the game in a way that, maybe it wasn't done before. Mm-hmm. So, and not only about the past, but trying to also like shape the future for the game too, because, maybe not everyone is gonna play forever. But they'll still be involved in the scene, and we have an opportunity to shape the game's future too. So to me, that's like the main interest in the game is how much people actually care for it, that they're willing to take on all these projects. Because actually, when I first met you, at Arthur's place at his office when we were playing on the cabs. That's the reference that I made about the bathroom. I don't know if you remember. You asked me where the bathroom was, and then I was like, "Don't you think it's weird that we use this bathroom, but then we use the same bathroom on the other side of the world in Mikado?" Anyway, I mentioned that reference. I think on Makiri's episode, and people were like, "What the hell?" I was like, "I didn't tell you the whole story," but anyhow.
But I don't remember that part, the story that you're saying. So what exactly happened?
So we were playing ST at Arthur's office. You're like, "Oh, where's the bathroom?" I'm like, "Oh, when you leave, you're gonna make a right here. You're gonna go there or whatever." And when you got back, I was like, "Oh, you've played at Mikado before, right? You played in Japan because you mentioned that you were in Japan already." I was like, "Don't you think it's weird that there's just two random guys, two completely random dudes playing this game right now? And we used two toilets on opposite sides of the planet, and we used the same toilet at one point. Like it's weird, but that's how the game connected us." And the toilet lore lives on.
Nice. Wait, but when you say Arthur, you mean Tecmo? What's the guy name?
Tecmo Super Bowl.
Tecmo Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that his name was Arthur. I mean, there are some. Yeah. So you think that was the first time we met?
That was the first time I met you. Yeah.
Really? Okay, because I remember the day that we went to Mike Each's house in his garage.
Yeah.
And then we had dinner after that. So that was like after.
That was after. And I remember because when we were going home, I think it was like me, you, and Zoolander were on the train at one point, and then it was like 2 a.m, and I think I was really far from home. I was like, "Oh, this sucks, dude. I'm never gonna get home." I forgot what time I got home that night, but that was after. I remember distinctly the first time I met you. It was at it was at Arthur's office, because otherwise I wouldn't have made the bathroom comment. Because when I meet people, the first thing I do is ask them about which bathrooms they use. But
it's the pattern. But I think that in the lines of what you were saying about things to do, and it's true that I remember that at some point I was able to reach anyone in the community, and there were 2 people that were very hard to reach. One was Orf.
Oh my God! I know that. Orf is very hard to reach. I know that. It's still to this day it's very hard. And but the other one was you, and it has nothing to do with the new Riz one. Now you are like everywhere, super accessible, doing a lot of things. So it's like a night and day. So I had no footprint. If you wanted to reach me, you had to like come see me in person. I have a Twitter now. Like, I had an email or some shit before, but I never gave out my phone number. I was a ghost back then, but now. I guess people used to say that. They're like, "Oh, you're hard to get a hold of." I'm like, "Bro, I'm right here. Just come talk to my face." But,
just come.
But speaking of Orf, actually, I did finally get a hold of him like 2 days ago, and he's doing well. I guess he's just busy with work, so hopefully we'll get to catch up with him soon. But he's definitely around.
Well, you were streaming last night. Well, no, actually last night for me, but it was this morning for you. He was playing on Fightcade too.
What the hell? He's on Fightcade and he didn't tell me? Okay. I got some more. Now I got some words for him. Is his username Orf?
Like ORF,
Okay. All right. Yeah, we're gonna beat him up now. We're coming for you, Orf.
And what you were saying about the things, like the things to do in the community, I see kind of like 2 lines of work. One is like, as you were saying, the past, because there's a lot of things that can be like done to make all the things of the past more accessible or more easy to explain for everyone. And then the present and the future. So it's like kind of like both things. That's why as soon as you want to get involved in a few things, you have a lot of things that you could do. But also I think personally I have also or being myself a computer guy, I have also like Dandai, that curiosity of getting involved in a project that also challenges you to do something technical that you don't know. So that's why I think I keep doing stuff like that as well.
Yeah, because I was almost bringing it up, but the first thing I remember you shared with me was a matchup chart that you made for ST that was printable. I think you actually gave us all prints.
Yes.
And it was well designed as well. And then it also had like a tier list. You averaged out like the US, European, and Japanese tier list. And then it also showed like how to select the old characters. And all of this was on one cheat sheet. I think you called it like a cheat sheet tier list or something.
Yeah.
Do you still have that graphic? If you do, I would love to show it on the stream. You can send it to me after. It's fun.
If you put Super Turbo cheat sheet on Google, I think it's not the first one. Damn it. Let me go to Google Images. Yeah, the first image. And it's a post that's from Reddit.
Reddit.
But I remember that they posted it at that time. I posted it in SRK forums.
Yeah,
so let me see
that was the first thing. And I was like, oh shit, like this is well done, because it was a lot of information on one sheet of paper, but it was super easy to absorb. It was like, oh yeah, this is how you select the old characters, and this is the ratio of, like this, the tier list essentially averaged out, and like the whole matchup chart in a printable, like I wanted to bring it with me to every tournament. So like that, it was cool. I probably have it somewhere, like in a closet, locked, like just fold it up somewhere. But yeah, I should probably, if you have a high res version of that, I would definitely print it and have a frame. It's pretty sick.
I'll have to find it, because I'm seeing that although it went to a forum, I don't kind of find the link. I remember that at that time I put it I printed it and put it underneath my arcade stick, and Muffin Man did the same. I remember that he streamed one of the times he was streaming. He put that also in the same way. Is that something that, because when you show images on your interviews, is that something you do post-production, or like do you need it now or after that?
Yeah, I could do it post, so it's fine.
Because right now I cannot find the high resolution.
Yeah, it's fine. Just maybe
I'll send it to you after the.
Yeah, including like the secret of Monkey Island. Like I'll find something, or you can find something. But yeah, like some of these things that we didn't plan for that I think are still interesting to show, like that can be added, in time for us. So I thought that was cool. Just meeting you for the first time.
I don't know if you remember now, because you don't have the image here in front of you. Actually, if you are where are you in the chat? I can send you a link, so you know what I'm talking about. But there, next to the matchups, between the matchups and the tier list. Okay, this is the image. You won't farther than that, but just so you have an idea of this image on the right. Yeah. Yeah. So between the matchups and the tier list, there's like a color code, like of the characters. Like it says, depending on the button you press, it says what color of your character is being chosen. But it's in
that's true. Yeah. I completely remember it. That was so cool. Like, if you can find the high res version of this, I'll definitely show it on the screen.
Yeah. So, sorry, go ahead. You were going to say.
I don't remember what I was talking about anymore. I guess that's the end. Have a good night, guys. No.
No, that was coming because one of the first thing I showed you said, or something like that, in person.
So which I guess we can start talking about like old projects that you've had. Like I know one of them actually is the player cards, which we can see over here. Yeah. So maybe if you want to talk about this player card signatures project. Yeah. And after that, if you want me to wrap up the story, because one of the things that I remember very vividly of one of the first conversations I had with you is that I tried to explain to you what I was doing that sabbatical year, so to speak, that I was
spending 3 months on different cities. And you were saying, but I don't understand. Why are you doing that? Do you remember that conversation? Because it was like 3 months in New York, 3 months in Tokyo, something like that. And but anyway, I'll explain it after these cards if you want. So,
okay, yeah.
So these cards are Bandai cards released at that time, and they had probably around 200 because they did cards for all the Street Fighter versions, and they were really cool into the details, because here these are only the SD cards. So you have the Super Turbo logo there. Each of the character has their own hologram here, and all the poses are like from the actual game. So it's just that I collect things, not Street Fighter things, but Super Turbo things that have at least the 17 characters of the game. And these are one of the rare things I saw, and it was like a guy there, not Nico from Tokyo, but another one, a French guy in Japan, had to help me through Yahoo auctions to get the cards. And when I got them, I got whole packages and also the other Street Fighters. And for the Super Turbo ones, they were repeated. I had the same thing twice. And they were very hard to find, but I'm saying, okay, I have this thing twice. And I remember in that trip in the X-Mania 2015 that I was with Dandale Trouble and so on, at that moment, I had the idea that, wait, why if I get one of the repeated decks and make the players to sign them? Because it was very trendy at this time that communities were getting more into each other, like Americans traveling there, Japanese traveling elsewhere. So to have those T-shirts signed or the CPS2 signed by everyone. And I say, okay, let's collect the signatures of these players. And at that time, we were like with Matsun and Komoda, I think. They signed them right away. And yeah, but I had more players there. It's just that probably months before I had this page already made with the legends, which I have to redo. I think that someone asked in Discord what are the new things for Gokipedia, and one of them is this page, because I want to not only put the Japanese. Now I have with the help of some people, I'll try to update this page with the latest stuff, because it's been like 5 years, I think, since this page. But also for American and European lists. So, but anyway, for design purposes, I chose 2 players for each character and made kind of like a square, like a grid where you could see videos from matches between them. And this was the guideline that I chose for the players to sign the cards. And but it was a lot of work, because obviously Matsun and Komoda were right there. But okay, now where do I find Daigo, or where do I find I don't know, Shiki, who's not playing anymore, so to speak? Or so it was a whole mess. Like Daigo, I ran into him at Stunfest in France. Some guys from Osaka, I had to give the cards to Kusumondo and explain to him what I wanted, and then he took the cards and give them back to me a year after with the signatures. I also had Nico from Tokyo sending a mail, like asking Taira and Shiki, because they weren't around at the time, so he mailed them the cards. They signed them and then mailed them back to him. Also, Damdai had one of the cards, because I don't know, he was in touch with someone, I don't know. So it was a whole lot of people helping me with this, just for this stupid thing. but I think it was fun to do, and I want also to redesign the presentation of this. This design is a little bit old, but maybe it was an introduction, because so many times people meet players in Japan, but they don't know who they are, or they don't match the player with a face, especially because some of them are or used to be more secretive about being on video. So that's why when you press on the card, you see them from pictures from tournaments or things like that.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention on the Uvega picture, that's me cut in half right there, bro.
Oh man, sorry.
You cut me in half, bro. What's up?
Yeah.
But yeah, anyhow, this is a really cool project, and like you said, you're able to see what all the players look like. You even have like the year for context, so you can see like, oh yeah, Shiki 2010, Shiki 2016, and yeah, this is pretty sick. I think definitely like continue this. I think the last year in Japan, you actually gave me a dictator card, and it was a green dictator. I have to find it. I don't know where.
You have to, because, well, if it's a champion editions, I might have a spare one. But if it's a super turbo one, those are really, really hard to get. So
yeah, it's cool that you were able to get these cards. I don't think anyone thought of this before. They even got the little KO on there. They just need a 55, or for you a 42. But I guess that's another story. We'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
But
do some statistics there to see who wins. So.
How did the Japanese players respond to this, or do they know like what you're doing?
I will actually have a story that I just remembered, that I think that they weren't really aware of what was going on, because they took it in the same way that when Eugene and Tani were asking players to sign posters. So maybe they were saying, okay, cool, a signature, like if I was asking for an autograph. They didn't know the whole story. But when I got to Gunze, we all know Gunze, how crazy he is. So
yeah, he's a nut.
Yeah, so here you see the signature, but he didn't write that. He wrote his name there, and he put in huge letters, he put shooting D, and he put so much like crazy stuff. And when I saw the card, he gave it back to me, and I said, "What the fuck? So what are you doing?"
You had to get him a whole new card.
No. He said, "Yeah, I put shooting D because he's my master, whatever." I don't know what he told me. And I say, "You're crazy." But then for a while, I was like, okay, I'm gonna... First, I edited it with... when I scanned the card, I had the two versions of the card. So I removed it digitally. But then years later, maybe 1 or 2 years later, I found out that with alcohol and a Q-tip, I was able to remove the marker with no problem, because I thought at some point I thought that it was like a permanent marker, and anything I try I was going to damage the card. But probably because of the coating of the card or something, you grab a Q-tip and alcohol and you remove it very, very fast. So now it's even.
Oh, you can't even tell. You can't even tell on this one. This is clean.
In this one might be the one that I removed digitally. So I put a layer on top of the normal card, but even the normal one now it's fine. You wouldn't be able to tell either. Yeah, Muteki is like Ito. It's one of those that Muteki, Ito, and Kurahashi are maybe the three players that come to mind that. How can I say that in a nice way? That they have a hard time to socialize with foreign players.
Yeah. So, I haven't had a conversation with any of them, basically. Well, except Ito. Ito's cool. Ito actually came up to me and was like, "Oh, I heard you play Alpha 3. Let's play." And then they switched the board at Space Shuttle. Like on one of the cabs to Alpha 3. We played like hella games. It was dope.
How did he know?
I guess because Mao told him.
Nice.
I don't know how Mao knew. I don't know. I think the players know that I like playing a bunch of random games, like random Street Fighter. So, Ito's really good. I was like,
yeah.
Right.
I think in some cases are miscommunications, because I remember I don't know who was someone who visited the arcade there said, "Oh, because Zito is a little bit against foreigners or whatever. But the base, like the story that they were basing that thing is that they made like an East versus West, and Ito didn't want to go with the foreigners. But maybe it wasn't because he had anything against them. It was maybe some other reason, or he just wanted the other team. So maybe someone took it as, oh, he doesn't like foreigners, but maybe that's not the case. So in many cases, people assume things, and probably these might be miscommunications in many cases. So
that's too bad, because I think all the players are like super friendly, and some of them will go out of their way to make sure that you have an awesome time, like Fujimon, Murasaki, Matsun. There's a bunch of guys that really want you to enjoy your stay in Japan.
I have a story on that, because one thing I noticed is that somehow from the people who visit Japan, they have a Japanese player who they get along the most. And for Dande, it was Matsun. For you, I think it's Viper, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah, and for El Trouble is Giant, and so on. And in my case, it's Noguchi, because when we met and he wanted to practice English, and he's been always super nice. I'm in touch with him, and he helps me in many things as well. With the cards that I told you before, he helped me as well. But the reference I had from him until that point, until I met him, it was the opposite thing. It was that when he went to TOL 1 or 2, I forgot. I think it was 2. TOL 2, apparently.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, people were saying that he was like kind of like not very nice, or something along those lines. That, but again, it must have been like a miscommunication or something. That okay, I think that I got ex-gamers answering me about the video that we're looking for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, but so I think that it was one of those cases that were unconvinced, because now I know Noguchi, and I know that it doesn't match what people were thinking, or the story that was going around with what I run into later. So
yeah. So I think bottom line is, like, none of the Japanese players are against foreigners. It might be harder to talk to some of them because of like the obvious language barrier, or maybe they're not as social. But yeah, for the most part, they're pretty chill. So, as long as you're cool, I think they'll be all right. But some people are just like, nah, I just want to play the game, and and that's that. So just kind of like know where you're going, and
yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know. I think you met Juvega as well, like that he looks like a serious guy or whatever, but when he feels comfortable and opens up, he's like a super cool dude. So
yeah, every now and then he'll actually smile. So
yes.
Yeah, no, he's cool. Yeah, he's cool. He's cool. He's not like, obviously he doesn't talk a lot or whatever, and he really wants to win. So if he takes an L, he will do a salty run back, because that's how much he cares about the game. But when he's not playing and you're not playing, and you guys are just on the sides, like, he'll try to talk or try to teach you something. Like, yeah, he's all right, but he is very intimidating otherwise.
Yeah. I think that Nohoho got along with Afo, right? AFO.
Yeah, because he made it a point to make sure to talk to AFO, and I mentioned this on a previous podcast too, or maybe just on the stream, but Noho and I, we would have conversations about like difference between AFO and Komodo and why they do what they do. I definitely talked about this maybe on Game Dice episode. So I know that he really wanted to meet AFO as like one of his heroes. So they definitely got along, and Noho was able to speak Japanese, so it was easy for him to just ask about tech and all that.
I actually have a frustrating experience on this language barrier problem, because one of the times I was at GSV, AFO came and tried to teach me something against Claw, the Claw matchup. but I had no translator around, and he doesn't. It's one of those people that don't know any English at all, and he was trying to say it with gestures and few words, but and Japanese words, but I couldn't understand completely what he was saying. So I'm not sure what he taught me that day, but I think it was a very missed opportunity because you have a grandmaster there teaching you a trick. So it's like,
oh, that's too bad, because not only is he like awesome with Blanca, but he's actually just super talented at the game. Like he can play a bunch of characters, Komodo as well, both Blancas. But AFO is like a literal monster. That's too unfortunate. That's unfortunate for you.
So,
but,
someone said that he has one of the best new Saggats in Tokyo.
Damn. Yeah, I gotta see that. I saw him wrecking fools with Ken. Like I played his Ken. I couldn't even touch him. He was doing shit like one short Repa. Like, what the hell? Like, why are you so good? You don't even play this character. Like, he's DPing everything. I'm like, bro, you're a Blanca player. But yeah, it's his sense of the game is just really high. Actually, I guess another fun fact about AFO is, I think last year Evo Japan, he entered the Alpha 3 tournament, but he got bodied.
Oh, really?
So I guess he's not good at Alpha 3. Yeah, because I was just watching random clips. And I'm like, oh shit, like I said, AFO Blanca, like he played Blanca in that game. He just got bopped. I'm like, he probably just entered for fun. But I think that's the one that, what's his face one? Who won that? The DJ player. His name slips my mind right now.
But you're talking still about the Alpha or the...
No, ST DJ player, that won Evo.
The Hazi.
Yeah, Ozzy. Yeah. It was that year. I don't know if AFO entered that ST tournament though.
I'm not sure. It was strange because I think that it was even more strange that there wasn't going to be ST, but that in the end they put it there. And yes, so at least they had the tournament, and I remember there was Shogatsu, and there was quite a few of the usual guys, but not all of them.
Yeah. Also, just speaking of Japan, I remember a while back on Super Turbo Revival, you wrote one of the first kind of like modern guides of going to Japan, and it kind of had like maps and the breakdown of which arcade to go to on which day, and to get the JR pass and to get the SIM card. How did you figure all those things out? Because I pretty much like used that as my guide for maybe not the first trip, but the second time I went to Japan, and it was a lot more like helpful for me. And I pretty much like recommend that to anyone else who's going to be going. But yeah, how did you come up with all that? Well,
probably it was try and error in many cases of things that I did wrong, and then it's like next year I'm going to do it in the right way. But the motivation to write it down is because I was getting frustrated of people like going to Japan is not easy, and like nothing that some people, because of their life, responsibilities, or because they have been saving money to go there, so they might be going there once, and who knows when they're gonna go back. And they go there. I've seen cases where they go to Japan, and they say, okay, I have no plan. I'm a super turbo player, but what I'm going to do is to go to Mikado Takanoda Baba on a Wednesday at 5 p.m. And I say,
500 yen free play or whatever.
No. I'm talking about a random time, that because they don't plan it, and when they go there, the arcade is empty, or at least empty of super turbo players. So they take pictures and they see the arcade and everything, but they don't experience the community stuff because it's like nobody told them, or they at least don't remember that, okay, the place to go is on Tuesday at GameSpot Versus or whatever other arcade. They have a day where they meet to play, and you can meet people. But if you do it super randomly, then they're not gonna have like the experience. And I was seeing cases where that was happening. And also, like in many cases, it's like, I was there, but I didn't have internet connection because it was too complicated at some point to get the SIM card or whatever. Always lack of information. And I made that mistake also probably at the beginning. But it's like, okay, just have like 4 things set there so you cannot, as I was saying, avoid the chaos and have it. So at least not because of lack of information. Let the other things to get in your way, but not these ones. So yeah, in my case, I don't know if I can link it to what I was saying, because what I told you before, because I'm trying to go to Japan every year, like kind of like a Dandai does, so to speak. But it wasn't for Super Turbo. The first times I went there, it's because I went for work one of the first times. I used to work at Google in San Francisco, so they sent me there. Then I met some Spaniards there that have been living there forever, and I hang out with them. And what happened is that that year that I was saying that I took after San Francisco, it was 2013, I think. Instead of going back to Spain, I wasn't sure where to go and live. So I had a few places in mind, and one of them was New York, one of them was Paris, one of them was Tokyo. But one thing I learned, or at least that worked for me, when I had to move to another place, I wanted to do that first, the try to live there for 3 months, because 3 months is what they allow you to do as a tourist in most countries. And that worked for me in San Francisco back in 2007. So what I did that year, in 2013, it was like this sabbatical year that I was trying to explain, that I said, okay, I'm going to be 3 months in New York, 3 months in Tokyo, and 3 months in Paris. But it so happened that I was just discovering the game, and it was where people were. Like when I went to New York, I met you, Damdai, Josh, and all those guys there in New York. When I went to Tokyo, I met Kuropi. He was traveling there for Kakerugo that year. I met NKI. Who else? Like some other guys there. Is like, okay. But even I was into the game, but not that much. So like imagine that in my 3 months in Tokyo, I went to Games for Versus only twice, which is now...
Yeah, that's the absolute worst possible ratio of time spent in Japan versus going to arcade. Sorry.
Exactly.
That's horrible.
So that would be impossible now. It would be impossible. And then when I went to Paris, I went to an arcade that they had there, is when I met Zaggy, Valcor, Professor Jones, and all that stuff. So I think that was an excuse for me to get even more into the game because of the people involved in it. I don't know. I connected with many of them. And that's how I got along with Dandai, because we had similar interests, and we both were tech guys. Kuropi is how I started collaborating with him in Nesty Revival. And yeah, so that was coming. I lost why I was saying that, but I digressed. But yeah, I wanted to get that out because some people are asking me about that period of time. I don't know how I explained it to you when I met you in person, but I remember very clearly that you told me, I don't understand what you're doing. But anyway.
Sounds like something the old me or the young me would say, I guess.
Yes.
That sounds like chaos to me, bro.
A little bit, but it's under the hood. It's all under control.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because at that point you're traveling to, the most important places where Street Fighter exists, and I mean, because you were in San Francisco, so you're already in California. But yeah, New York, I think, was huge for ST at that time because that's when Damdai was the most active and flying to almost every tournament and winning almost every tournament. So you could have said like, oh yeah, like New York is the best because they have so and so players, but also Damdai was taking home most of the trophies. And then, like you said, Tokyo. It just so happens that you met Kuropi and NKI there, so they got you all like connected and caught up. And then, of course, Europe, which was a little more unknown, I think, overall for a lot of us. Like we didn't know about it until quite recent. That damn, there's like hella killers out there, and I think now that the ST world is getting smaller and smaller, and more players are like communicating, or like even crossing paths more at these tournaments. We're like, Europe is really strong. So you were kind of one of the first people to recognize or be immersed in all three of them.
Yes, because I think that people don't, as you were saying, Nohoho, Kuropi, we're doing work on spreading information from Japan to the US community and so on. But I saw that still France was really being the most recent scene. Were also on their own, and there wasn't many things that weren't connected between the communities. And when people ask me about the projects, if I can find like a single motto of it, it's like kind of unifying these three main scenes. Well, actually, all the scenes, but these are the three that we all have in mind. And that comes from even translating stuff that it's in one language but not in the other, or sponsoring players to go to tournaments to the other continent. Like I don't know. I think that's the common purpose in all of the projects that motivates me.
Right, because your goal is to bring everything together. You're taking all the, I guess, the mess, the chaos, and you're restructuring it.
Yeah,
in a way that makes sense for you.
Actually, I'm gonna ask you to hire me for the next Macherino Cup, because there was a little bit of chaos.
Well, I mean, it's not all up to me, but hopefully I can play a bigger part in the next Macherino Cup. Hopefully,
no,
I was just a messenger boy.
No, I think it was the tournament was amazing, and actually the goals were reached. So it just small details that, for me, it's like, okay, how come nobody in Europe knows about this tournament, or okay, now the tournament is over, where is the footage to people to access and so on. But it's easier for it usually happens in everything. It's easy to give feedback of that when you are not involved. But then anyone can come to me and say even worse things of the things I organized in Spain, for instance. Like I remember the first Fightgate offline festival. I was in kind of managing the tournament and all the stream setup, and it was so bad, some of the things, the quality and so on, and say fuck. So I should shut up and learn from what I do, not from what I say. But it always happens that it's easier to. I guess there's an English expression to criticize other people's work instead of your own. So yeah,
no, I mean, I get it though, and I think all the feedback is welcome. Like, we've reached out to Macherino. Like, I've shared any point of feedback that like other players gave me. I made sure to, also communicate with Macherino. But yeah, this was like the first of its kind, and you want to do it right, but you're gonna find hiccups. You're going to find ways to make it better. Now that it's guaranteed for 2021, I definitely my goal is to work towards making that like a super amazing event. I want it to be 100,000 times better than what we had this year. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. As far as with Europe,
it was already a super amazing event, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, all that to happen in a month, kind of spontaneously, even like an LCQ happening at the last minute, all that stuff, it was dope. But yeah, I think it'll probably be a while before there's like a US versus Europe kind of thing, because it's really hard, outside of our continent to get like good high level games. But I'm interested in, doing like a European only tournament on my stream or something. I'd like to do that just to get more involved with those players or do commentary with, people from your scene. I think it'd be dope. So maybe sometime in the future, if you have any ideas, let me know. But I definitely want to go ahead and do that too.
Yeah. I think I mentioned one idea, but yeah, we can figure out something like that.
All right, cool. Well, let's take this time actually. I know that you shared a couple of pictures about from your scene, so if you wanted to go ahead and take a look. This one is actually super cool. So this is the ST house. 2015. Who made this?
I did. So, I mean, I'm not very good at design. I think that you have better skills than me at designing. And actually, it's not that this has much design other than the distribution of the characters, but it was one of those first trips where I think that it's not only international trips, because there were people like NKI or Professor Jones traveling to Japan in the early years and doing trip reports. But I think that the difference with this kind of trip, like this one in 2015, it's how integrated we got with the players. Like, it's not like you go and play and watch them play and you almost don't communicate with them, which it was usually the case. Here we're actually connecting. There's another picture around with a dinner with everyone there, and then like this one. You can see Damdale, Trouble, Easymorn, KKY, Geneti, Chun at the top. Then that other crazy Zangief, I forgot his name. One of the Tokyo Zangiefs there. And on the other table, there's Nakamura and everyone. But I think that these are the differences of how now the communities get together. When Japanese come to the US, also we do the dinner stuff. In Europe as well. So I think that's been in the recent years, the difference of how we merge the communities somehow. And in that poster, we all got a single Airbnb where we were all sleeping at the same house.
What was it, like a 3-4 bedroom?
Yeah, it was one bedroom with Damday and his wife. Then I think there was another one for Trouble and Tanya, and then Izimor and me were spooning in the living room, in the couch bed, or there was like So we're like the six of us. I know, and Brandon also came. So yeah, it was a last minute addition to the trip. So we were 7 people there, and just I put the characters in their colors and. There's a funny story there with the signatures, because we all signed the posters. We did some copies of it and then also gave it to what's the name of the GSB guy? Nikaitan, yeah, Matsun and so on. The problem is that I have a problem with my signature, because people are used to the signatures, but in my case, I'm a little bit retarded on that aspect. I don't know why. Maybe only for my ID, when I do it every 10 years, I guess. It's where I really... And actually, the signature I came up with, that was a teen or the later years, it was a stupid signature that nobody liked. So when it came to sign this poster, I say, guys, I don't know how to do the signature here. And then I started like practicing my signature in kind of like a papers. But I was there for I'm not exaggerating, for half an hour or 40 minutes, and they'll Trouble and them, they were like making fun of it, like, man, what's going on with you and the signature? So I ended up putting that thing that probably it's not my signature per se, but it's more kind of an improvised signature that looked like a more common signature. I don't know how to explain, because my actual signature is it's a little bit it's bad, so to speak. So So
I mean, it looks all right. Like, I can't tell. It looks
Yeah.
like an E. It looks like you try to spell out your name and then you just gave up. I don't
yeah,
know.
but that's not my signature. It's something I came up that day for the poster, but I wouldn't be able to reproduce the same thing now. So it got the job done, but I don't think that that I solved that part in me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Hold on. There's more. What's Afterlife? You can tell me the story of these pictures here.
Yeah. So the thing is, well, I'm gonna say first the surprise factor, okay? And I'm gonna ask you if you can tell, for instance, who's the guy on the blue shirt on the top left.
Oh, I'm not sure, man.
Okay.
I don't know.
So all the 4 pictures are on the same place and in an event that we were going for the offline events in Barcelona. So on the top left, it's me with Puff, the creator of 5K.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. On the picture on the top right, I'm with a girl.
Of course.
But the one playing with the black shirt, it's Shine, the one who got involved in 5K2, the one probably who saved the online world.
Yeah, Diddy. Yeah, I mean, I think if it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't be doing a podcast. I wouldn't have been streaming. I wouldn't have been doing shit. I mean, I started streaming just before 5K2, but I don't think it would have turned into what it was. And I also want to shout them out because they use the same arcade stick I use.
Yeah, well, actually, here I think that we were like we had that in the setup. So yeah.
Actually, I think that is your arcade stick, the one that I'm using. It's the same exact one because someone gave it to me. Oh shit, the Dictator player.
The Geo.
Yeah, GeoRAM. He
so
gave it to me, and he told me that you gave it to. Yeah.
Nice. Wow.
Yo, so not only do we use the same bathroom, but I use the same stick that the developers of 5K2 were using. See that, guys? That's how connected ST World is.
Can you smell it to see if it still smells like me? Or okay,
no, I don't know
that's creepy. That's creepy.
Yeah, that's a little weird. But it's the joystick is green on that one. It's white here. It must have been modded.
Yeah, anyway. No. I think it's because when I left San Francisco, I left that there, and I got another one here. But I'm not sure if it's this one. But I have one at home. And I did the same for Miko Boxer, probably one of the best players in Europe.
Yeah.
He wanted to play Afro Legends in HDR online, one against each other, because they got really along online. But at that time, for some reason, I think that Afro Legends was on HDR X360, Xbox 360, but Miko didn't have even a stick to that. So Angel Kila, who's a French guy who was going for a tournament from Barcelona to France because he lives in Barcelona now, I gave one of stick. I think it was one of those HRAP 3, and then I gave it to Miko as well. And I still, just so he plays Afro Legends online. So something like that. So another case of someone with a stick of mine somewhere in the world. So yeah. And speaking of Angel Kila is the one who did the patch of the speed in
30th.
the 30th. Yeah. He's the guy on the bottom left.
Damn, we got the whole squad.
Yeah, and the surprise is
boys.
you wouldn't won't ever guess who's the one on the bottom right with the red stripes.
He likes to Krueger.
He likes to go a little bit of incognito because even not many people know that he's Spanish. So that picture is fine for him, but he's Darksoft.
Oh shit. Damn, yeah, there's a lot of story just in this panel of photos alone.
Yeah. Darksoft is a Spanish guy who lives in well, I'm going to say in some country in Europe, because I don't know if he wants, since he told me he wants to be so private about his life. So he lives
on planet Earth.
Earth. Yeah, so when he visits Barcelona, he comes with us as well. So that's 4 legends here in the same event in Barcelona. That's kind of fun.
I was gonna say the legend is the one who's getting that girl's number, but yo, check out that DDR pad. I think that's what Mega Man uses when he's playing Zangief on stream.
What?
When he's pressing the buttons, when he's pressing it sounds like he's stomping on the DDR pad. It's just like
Because of the noise he makes?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm just exaggerating. All right.
Yeah.
Next we got this Mikado photos.
Yeah, this one is Mikado Europe because one of the consequences, like as I was saying, when I came just after the year that you and me met in New York, and I did all those 3 months. So, well, one thing not many people know is that my goal, I saw that living in Japan was too much of a change for me. That's why I keep visiting as a visit, but living there for me was too much of a change. So what it would imply to learn the language and so on. And at the moment, I didn't see it fit. So I chose New York as the place, at least for a while, to live and choose. But the circumstances make me go back to Barcelona. And it hasn't been until this year I got the green card with the DV lottery. I don't know if you are aware of this lottery of the green card. Anyway, there's a way of getting the green card. So now I have 6 months to decide what to do, because if I don't go to New York or to the US for that matter before 6 months, I lose that green card visa. So
it's
I
horrible
might,
timing.
yeah. So that's just to say that I might, after 6 years now that I've been in Barcelona, I might go back and live to New York. I don't know for how long, but that's a possibility now. At least it's easy. So anyway, I was saying that because when I went back to Barcelona in 2014, there was no scene, no nothing. And the story about Fightgate, I always say the same. Pov was a university friend of mine. He was going with me. And then we had kind of a reunion in 2014. And then I saw that he was working from home, coding, but he was playing a Champion Edition on 16.9 and on a keyboard.
That's my boy. Yo, Pop's my boy. He was playing CE. Yeah, that's my boy for life. Yo, we getting him on the next podcast. Keep
Definitely.
going.
Yeah. So he was doing that on his breaks while he was coding at home, so to speak. When he told me that, I was coming with all this trip and information about the scene and Super True, and I say, no, what are you doing? You're doing it the wrong way. And I told him everything, like from A to Z. And he got hooked, and him and me started the community in Spain. But one of the things, I knew he was very good at coding and hacking and reverse engineering. So when GGPO was kind of down because of DOS attacks and things like that, I knew that, what's the name of the guy of GGPO, one of the brothers?
Ponder?
Yeah, Ponder. He was getting tired of maintaining it, so it was kind of dying out. So I told Pov, can you do something about it? And he was saying, I'm very busy. But I asked him like 3 or 4 times, and finally he said, okay, I'm gonna try. And that's how he created the Fightgate. So that just to say that these sparks is where things that started, and the same happened with this picture. The Mikado Europe started because in our Facebook group of the Spanish community, I bought an Astro City from a French guy who was importing them from Japan, and I put that on a Facebook post in the Spanish group. And Rocco, a guy from Murchante, saw the picture, and he apparently he's crazier than me in getting into any hobby, and he bought one Blast City after that, and another cabinet after that, until he ended up with 100 cabinets, so to speak.
Which is what we're seeing right here. That's nutty, dude. This is crazy.
He got also... One good thing about organizing things is that I've been wrong so many times. And even though I always think I'm right. No, but one of the times that I was wrong is that when they wanted to go big and organize what I was saying about the Fightgate offline festival, they wanted to invite Mao and like big players. And I was thinking, why? I was more of the opinion, why to invite Mao, the best player at the time, or along with Ototune, to a community where we barely have players. But we saved it because we ended up having people from Europe, like Golkar Jack, Spinal Blood, Max. But to me, it didn't make sense. But they were all in, and I think that in retrospective they were right because they pushed things faster and forward. And one of the things that they got along, Rocco got along with TMF a lot and with the Mikado guys, and they saw what he was doing, and he got the official approval last year of opening the Mikado Europe, which now is a little bit in danger because of the COVID situation, and probably we're gonna try to find things to support it, either with a Patreon or something. So I'm gonna share the links once we have it. So anyone listening here that wants to support these kind of initiatives. But yeah, so you can see in the picture like all the versus and on bottom right, that's the top floor. It has like so many egret machines. These are half of them, I think, only with shoot 'em ups and things like that. So yeah, so he got he went all the way. So with that, so that's crazy. And and this is now not his garage or anything. It was a local that he got especially for that as a permanent to have Mikado Europe to be a permanent thing, obviously. So yeah,
this is insane, dude. Yeah. Like, I mean, even looking at the picture on the bottom left, Street Fighter 02, then you got Alpha 3, SC Third Strike. Like, damn, man, this is pretty hype.
Yeah. Yeah. One other thing that I have to thank also, I always try to do things under the radar and give like the merits or the kudos to other people, but rightfully so in most cases, because the Spanish scene in the last 2 years, it has grown a lot, and also thanks to people that took some of the responsibilities and organizing more online tournaments and stuff, and even the level now, we're now competing not with the top French players, but now we're like getting up there in things that didn't happen before. We had Ricky TTT, Marcade, Onda, and some players that are really leveling up. And Ricky TTT, it's the one in Barcelona who kind of like followed the steps of Rocco, as you can see here in the picture. And he, instead of Afterlife, who was the bar where you saw the pictures before that we were going, now we go here because he started with a couple of cabinets, and his parking is the parking of his office, so to speak. And El Trouble and other players, when they visited Barcelona, they came. The problem is that when El Trouble and Tanya came, he still didn't have this. This is very recent. He built up all these things, what you see in the picture, just during the COVID, like 6 months ago. And it's just like more cabinets, not as big as the Mikado Europe, but at least probably there are like 10 or 15, but enough versus cabinets and only fighting games, Street Fighter mainly. There are more people that come also when we do the meetups, people from other Street Fighter games as well, Alpha and Street Fighter. There's even like a couple of versus for the Street Fighter 4 and so on.
Yeah, I see like CVS2, I see Tekken. I think this is also really hype, like you said, even though it's way less cabinets. I mean, look at the posters on the wall. I see a Champion Edition poster. I see a Champion Edition marquee. Yeah. Like this is more like a memorabilia.
Yeah,
like
he went. Ricky went for the details he's a little bit more into that, and you can tell. And we got also the streaming part set up faster. So yeah, actually, if there hadn't been the situation this year, he wanted to do the first tournament in Barcelona, which is more accessible than for many people to fly in, and more appealing because many people want to visit Barcelona and so on. So, but now it's on hold. But at least he doesn't have the problem that Mikado has, because this is at his work office, so it doesn't require any rent or anything like that. So he can maintain that for the time being. So
man, yeah, but that's still so unfortunate. Yo, COVID, man, killed everything. This has been such a hype event. Like, even if it was like a small invitational, like, I don't know, this just looks cool. Like, I would definitely want to go to this. And then you got this photo here.
Yeah, that was only. I use this photo as an example, always just to explain that one of the things about the trips to Japan, or at least in my case, the information that I'm trying to put there, it's not necessarily my opinion. It's just that I try to talk to as many people as possible, even if I have the language barrier. Sometimes I get things wrong as well. It can happen, but at least I try not to spread rumors unless I confirm it with several players, and in some cases I debunked rumors that I've seen in the SRK forums and so on. So in this picture, what you can see is Mao playing against no one in the versus cabinet, and and that's the definition of the ban soft that everyone wants to debate so much. And I've seen so many people saying no, because they ban Alt Sagat, whatever, and they understand ban soft, which is a bad term per se, but they understand it as a kind of ban on tournaments, which is not. It's like just you're just frowned upon, or at least in casuals they're going to leave you playing by yourself, like it happens here. But yeah, when it comes to, I realize that even in Japan, you go to Osaka and sometimes they don't know about Tokyo players because everyone is sometimes in their own bubble, right? So I try also always to get as many obviously I'm a little bit biased sometimes, but I try to put there what I hear, not what I think necessarily, right? So yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't imagine now that one, an arcade would be this filled, but two, you have Mao, who's arguably the best player in the world, and no one's gonna play him. Like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah. This was one of the last big tournaments done in Mikado. I think it was one of those records of 20-something cabinets with only 2X. ST. Yeah, and yeah, as you were saying, like Mao playing him by himself. But yeah.
Yeah, who would have seen that coming? Were you also the one who made the Ban Mao T-shirts or whatever? Who made that?
Yeah.
Was it you or Kropi? Oh, you made it.
No. Sorry. I think it was Kuropi. He put it as a design in the store. I don't know if that store is still there. There was a store for Stereo Rival merchandising. But I got the T-shirt and I went to Japan with that T-shirt. And yeah, it was a fun thing to do. I think OpenMai retweeted it recently. A picture of Mao and me with that T-shirt. And actually, one of the time that Mao came to Spain, I gave him the T-shirt. So now that T-shirt is Mao's possession.
That's pretty cool. He came to the Fightcade offline event, right?
Yes, it was really cool.
Yeah. I wish that could have still been like an annual thing. Hopefully, I don't know. It seems like if people are optimistic, 2022 is a year that will really catch back up for real. But yeah. There was one year was Mao, I think TMF as well, talking about the Japanese invites, and the year after there was TZW and James Chen as a commentator. Yeah, it was really cool. But with Mao, I don't know if you were going, because I think you asked me before about the projects. It was nice because with Mao, one of the visits I did at Space Shuttle, he has kind of a small room. I don't know if you remember. There are the cabinets, but there's a small room there that he uses as I wouldn't say a smoking area, but to chat or a break area. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I knew that I didn't have any translator there, and he's not that now. He's taking English classes in his stream, but I don't know if you know that Mao is in Fightcade 2 now as well.
Yeah, I think I was like the first person to play him.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
But then, I think it was 2016 or 17 that one of my visits there, and he sat me down to, I don't know if he wanted to propose me something about the project or something. I remember just that from the conversation, we managed to put together the MaoDB channel. because he didn't have any knowledge. I created the channel. I told him about the content that could go there and the format of the FT files and so he did all the work. Obviously, after that, capturing all the FT files. There are like at least 120 FT files in his channel now.
DB channel's crazy. That's like some of the highest level SC you can watch, honestly.
Yeah, and I did like the front end, like the web accessible. If you go to Wikipedia/MauDB or Mao/DB, Mao-DB, you can go to, it's also down there as a link. Yeah. So you have the FT5s here, but you can filter by character or by player. It's a way a more accessible way to access to the same list. But I wanted to do, someone was asking what's new, what's coming for Wikipedia. And I say, well, a lot, because it's been 5 years and each of every section I have an update that I want to make. For instance, not for the MauDB section, it's only the FT5s that Mao uploaded it. But there are many FT5s coming from Tokyo, old FT5s or F210 or F220 or whatever, that I think I want to unify and put it also accessible in the same place and in a nicer way. That's one of the projects. Even the section with the matchup table, that they are like a compilation of the matchups and averages from the Gamers magazines or the ST Revival matchup chart that they did in 2013 that Kuropi and everyone put together. It was time to make a new one. So last year I managed to get numbers from players in Japan that never gave the numbers before, like Mayekon Hog or Futa-chan or Sashishi. So I got the numbers there, and I have to publish them in an updated table. So that's also coming.
I think the other cool thing, sorry to cut you off, but the other cool thing, if you can do, is like a comparison of like how the matchups changed over time. I feel like some of the matchup chart, it's not changing dramatically, but some 5/5s might be like 7/3 now or something like that. Like I feel like there's some things that are changing. So that'd be interesting just to do a write up on like how much certain matchups changed.
My way to solve that is that I want the table, instead of being a grid with the characters and the numbers, I realize that most times people are interested of what of the numbers that a specific player gave at a specific point in time. So there's a way to see that, but it's not very accessible right now in that UI. So my idea is that in the table, if you are in the Rio row, if you click on the Rio, it unfolds like a menu, and underneath there's the list and the numbers of all the players that gave the numbers and give that average. But it's like a hidden subsection in the table. It's like a grid, but you can unfold each row and see the players' numbers.
Yeah, I get it. It's like you're like zooming in. You're like zooming in, and then you can break it down by player. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the new idea I have in mind. The problem is that there are many projects like this, and if I have to prioritize, I think that now I have to prioritize one that people have been asking me forever, which is the Super Turbo channel that closed a couple of years ago. And I managed to have the backup of the videos of that channel, because I happened to do a backup a few weeks before he closed. And I'm putting it together and accessible so everyone can access, but I want to do it a little bit better, in the sense that there was that, I forgot the name of that page that was an Austin Revival, where you can see matches by character.
Super SF2 Turbo, was it?
Yeah, the YouTube channel was like that, and he was doing all the merging of the videos and all the annotations. So that's why I started the same in that official GSV channel that I showed you before, but this time I got it with official permission from GSV. Nick Aiten gave me the permission, because one of the reasons that that channel closed is because he got a couple of strikes or or people complaining from Japan. So I say, okay, let's do it the right way. And
right, get the permission first. Yeah, man. If you're gonna be, you can't go ahead and steal other people's content. But
exactly.
shit.
And so it's not only the work of uploading it to YouTube. It's just that I wanted to do also the website that makes it accessible, because there the Street Fighter Dojo. It was the website that Zaz or Saz Pacer or someone created years ago, but it's so broken in the links that I wanted to do something that at least I have control both on the source of the video, backups of the video in case they break, and the website that accesses to it. So at least if I have to do the work, I know that it'll be there for a few years at least, that accessible for everyone.
That's the real ST revival. But yeah, I mean, we definitely need that, because I remember every week I used to look forward to the new GSV video and I would watch it. Yeah. And but now I like almost never watch SC videos. Like I don't remember the last match I actually saw that was new, and it's because it's not accessible anymore. I feel like, which is unfortunate, because I learned a lot just from watching match videos back in the day. But
I'm the one to blame, so I take all the I assume all the fault here, and people are telling me about it, and I admit it. But what gave me hope is that, for instance, in Fightgate, they were in a similar situation where they had a bug that didn't allow Fightgate 2 to perform well. And they were saying, oh, it's like hard to fix, whatever. But when they took the time, after 2 years or so, now it exploded. So I have the feeling that I see myself doing the same thing, like doing it the right way.
On Fightgate 2?
Not on Fightgate 2, but at least on all these video situation and so on, that at least I release it. I know it's taking longer than everyone would want to, but so I promise that I'm going to prioritize this part before other projects.
Got it. Yeah. Now, actually, speaking of which, I did want to watch some of your matches, so we learned who you are as like a community person. But let's see what your skills are like in the game. But before we watch, I just want to know: do you follow any other like fighting games, or like at all? Like, do you follow the Street Fighter 5 scene, or not really at all?
I see. I mean, when in things like Evo finals or things like that, or when they do the Kemonomichi, then you see the other ones, but not for the game per se. It's more to see if we can take something from those communities and apply it to ST. There are some players here in Spain that come from the they play in multiple games, and they try also to teach me or to show me things about other games. But I don't know, I'm a little bit stubborn on that, or maybe I barely see other games unless I can learn something of the FGC in general, not the game itself. Yeah,
I understand. All right, well, let's go ahead and watch this first game at ABC, and it says you against our best friend, Dandai.
Yeah, that was strange, because Dandai bodies me any day, but in this match, we commented it afterwards. He was saying you were hitting the normals at the right time, and say, yeah, it looked like I was reading what he was going to do, but it was more like throwing them and hitting him at the right time. And I say, okay, I don't know. Probably I won't be able to reproduce the same, but it happened that because it was in the arcade, East versus West, everyone watching. He was going for a long run. It's like, and he said, he was thinking, "Oh fuck, is Yogaboy gonna beat me now or what?"
Yeah.
And this,
that was a nice jump.
And in this second round, there's these things that you fail and you sleep. You have nightmares a few days after that, because I bite him here somehow, and I knew very clearly what I wanted to do. It's like end the bite, walk forward.
Bite again, but you did jump forward.
Yeah, I jumped. I didn't want to jump. I just wanted to walk forward and bite him again. And I failed miserably.
Does Damdai get a perfect round 3? No, he doesn't. Never
No,
mind.
I don't remember the third round, but probably it went the normal way. Let me see, because I don't remember. Yeah, he's zoning me, cannot do anything. Yeah, that's more than normal. What usually happens. Oh, I knock him down. Let's see. Oh, I don't no mix up here.
Yeah, as Blanca, you got to be dirty. Damn, those
Yeah.
anti-airs are nice though.
It's hard.
He got you.
It's hard with Damdai because you have to hop back in many cases, because when he wakes with throw to win any any meaty tick that you want to do for your mix-ups. So he usually wakes up also with reversal, obviously, but many times when I try the mix-ups, he throws me. So at some point you have to do more that promo thing of being on top, but then hoping, doing the jump back, the dash backwards, and then punish whatever he does. So,
yeah, I think with Blanca, you gotta go in. He's like a a bet it all on a good read kind of character sometimes. But All right, let's check out this. So this match here, it's actually a best 2 out of 3. And you're fighting my boy Murasaki.
Yeah, it was strange because Murasaki is a very nice guy. We all know that. But when I play, what's that dictator from Tokyo with a kind of weird... Tomoza, exactly. When I play Tomoza, I can do shit. And here it's like I can play my game somehow. So I have the feeling that either Murasaki was letting me play a little bit instead of like pushing all the... I mean, I'm not saying that he's not punishing, and maybe I also played well at some point in the round, but I'm thinking, okay, how come I'm winning here? I'm not supposed to win this thing.
Well, this is a good matchup for Blanca, and I've seen Murasaki with punish Blanca slide with dictator slide, which is crazy. No one in the world does that, but he can do it. He's really good at the fight. And then he had that one crazy comeback he did against I think Komoda at Canada Cup, the team tournament. So I'm sure he was trying, but
yeah, because that nobody ever wants the rainbow ball, but I'm seeing that doing some jumps with the jab instead of the kick, and I think that it just I shouldn't do that because the kick prevents from the cycle, but the jumping jab, it's only for his jumps. But obviously he's not gonna do any random jump that doesn't have under control, so that wasn't necessary for me. And one thing that Tomoza does all the time that he doesn't do here is that cross up when I block, and he crosses up with the scissors, because you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know about that. Yeah. It's like a meaty scissor kick cross up, like crouching short to I think medium scissor kick or something. I forget.
Yeah. Tomoza Dictator does that all the time. But,
that was a sick super. Oh shit, another super.
He missed that, so that's like, okay, maybe I'm gonna get saved. Maybe I actually won because of his miss and that.
Good
but
shit.
It was only one game, so.
We take those. I wanted to highlight this match because I think there's a little bit of story that we can talk about after this. This match right here is going to be at Canada Cup 2018, the team tournament. And you actually had a pretty cool team, Isimorin and Shogatsu. How did that team form?
Good question. I think that I don't remember the details because, we know that people like Shogatsu, Matsuno, they like to also mix the teams with not only all Japanese teams. And I don't remember, maybe it was Izimor who talked to Shogatsu and then he talked to me, or maybe we were a spare, can't remember, but it was cool. I think that my best team, whoa.
I should have won that round. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't watching the match. Let me see the second round to see if I can pay more attention. Because here, what you want, unless it's a Chun-Li that zones very well, you want to be on top as fast as possible. Because
So basically,
No, he's still zoning me here. That's the problem.
Yeah, and also that's a pretty beast team. Kusumondo, Nakano, Sagata, and Nuki.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of strong teams.
Wow.
Ah, shit, he just did it.
Yeah.
He just did it.
That's super in the face. So the best team I've been in was in Akakurugo, where I had Murasaki in my team. Who else was there? Yuri Feilong, but he was playing with Boxer.
Oh, right, his sub, yeah.
Noguchi, who I think he played Feilong at that moment, and Yuzuru DJ. I remember very clearly that, I mean, we went far, but not as far as we could have been. And I beat TZW some round, but I couldn't beat any other player. I was very close in a couple of cases, one with TZW and another one with the Dalsim. I forgot who was the Dalsim player, but I remember very clearly that I left the Dalsim in stun. And instead of going the bread and butter 3 combo with Blanca, I went there and bite him because I was so
Yes.
and I hear like people around me like, no. It's like sorry. Like I think at that very split second I decided that I wasn't going to pull the combo for some reason. And I say just bite him, and yeah, it wasn't the right decision, but yeah.
You got to be more confident. But
Yeah.
all right, so the reason why I want to watch the last match is because of this picture right here. So on the left, you got your 92 champion and 93 champion. The 93 champion is actually Nakano Sagat, who we just saw you play.
Yeah.
So this 92 champion, tell me the story behind this picture.
Yeah, that comes because of an article that I wrote in 2017 or 18, maybe, in ST Revival, and it was talking about the scene, the Street Fighter in Japan of the 90s, because we all know the Tomohira and Jeff and what it came after during those years before ST in the US. But not many people had a very clear idea of what was in Japan. And in that article explains that there were mainly 6 tournaments, 3 on arcade and 3 on Super Nintendo. I think that all of them organized by Capcom, but especially the Super Nintendo ones were those with thousands of kids participating. And these are the Super Nintendo ones are the ones in the picture, like the guy 92, El Capitan, was the one who won there, and 93, Nakano Sagat, and 94 or 91, I don't know if it was before or after, another guy who played with Guile. And in the arcades, it was someone the first year, but then that guy that Daigo interviewed so many times, the Tachikawa.
Tachikawa.
Yeah, he was the one winning the arcade edition of that year. And the year after, the last year that they did ST, it was Fuzuke, the DJ.
Fusuke, yeah.
And it so happened that when they came to Canada, they came Nuki, Fuzuke, Nakano Sagat. There was that mix of players from the old days as a group. But yeah, just because of the article that I wrote about it, I remember this picture. I said a few lines about each of them and references or videos that were going about them, but then I forgot about it until last year. It was last year, right? That you, Afro, and me were there.
Year.
Yeah, at
2019.
at XCST, I ran into this guy on the picture on the right. And he comes to me speaking in English, and not bad English actually. And I don't know what he asked me, and then I asked him, and he says, "No, but I'm a player from the old days," or something like that. And immediately as he said that, I don't know why I matched his face with the face of that picture, because that was my only visual reference, but I recognized him from these 2 pictures. Oh, I know. And my reaction was like, I know who you are. And then he didn't understand anything, because he's like, what the fuck? Because I told him then about the article and so on that I wrote about him. And he was like, like in the glory, right? Because imagine you're an old school player that everyone forgot about you, especially internationally. and then this random guy wrote an article about you. It's like, so I think I made his day. And yeah, it was very nice. And then I remember the day after or 2 days after that, we met for dinner because he said that he had so many stories about the old school players and the old scene. I wrote him on a paper as I could, and I have all this info here somewhere to put in the Wikipedia at some point. But yeah, that was a very nice coincidence.
Damn, that's like, again, like now we're not only connecting all the players, but we're connecting the timelines as well, right?
Yes.
Because I think no matter how much I went to Japan, I probably wouldn't have talked to this guy and connected that plot point. But
yeah,
who knows? Maybe this stuff will just start becoming common knowledge for everyone, and you know, we'll all be able to just, I don't know, like know what it was like to enter a tournament in 1992 playing on SNES.
Yeah.
So definitely, you know, you should publish that story. And sorry I didn't mention, but you said Gokupedia a few times. If you just kind of like let everyone know, for those who don't know what Gokupedia is.
Okay. So I explain it. Yeah. So it's basically a way for me that I had to put together all the info, because at some point I say, okay, where do I put this? In S3 Revival as an article or a new section and so on. But since maybe I wanted the full control of it, and I didn't say that before, but one of the main motivations that got me into get past information and put it in order and so on is because it was around that time that we met in 2013 or 14 that I realized that many of the videos and links from the SRK forums that people were linking to were all broken. And it was coming because of YouTube channels closing or putting their videos to private, like Alabama Boxer from Japan.
Yeah, like him, that guy.
Yeah. Like things like that. And it's like, oh, fuck. And also there was another problem that Twitch at the beginning, when you were streaming in Twitch, it was kind of YouTube now that whatever you streamed, it was going to the archive and stay there forever. But at some point they changed their policy and they started with this thing about, okay, either you pay more or your content is gone in 7 or 30 days or whatever. And I was seeing even Japanese arcades that had streamed some measures or something on Twitch and nobody made a copy or anything, then it was lost also because of that. So that's why I started with this journey of compiling everything as much as I could, and with the final purpose of ended up releasing it officially and with the permission of everyone, which I haven't said it, but I have permission from Mikado that I got like a year or so to release stuff about X-Mania. So that's another thing that I'll do after the GSB project that I told you. But yeah, I haven't told many people because I don't like to saying I'll do that, and
yeah.
But
well, now we have high expectations for you.
Yeah. But at least I think I hope it helps me to push things a little bit more or faster.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
Yeah. So one of the things was that, okay, let me have a little bit of control of what's going on, and the info that I'm putting here, I guess that in my mind I tried to put together sections. And for me, it made sense to put it in a website like this. And I don't know, some people, the name I came up with this to be like a wiki, because there was the SRK wiki where there's a lot of, I say the Bible there because there's a lot of information there. But I wanted to have something a little bit permanent, that at least it doesn't require much maintenance, although now it needs one because it's been 5 years. But that was my purpose. That's why when I put the page of the legends of the players, I tried to say, okay, these are the legends in the history of the game, not the current ones. Although it can be updated and so on. But because if you are talking about the best current players, you have to be updating these every so often. So
like every couple of months at this point, right? There's like new players popping up that are like super good. So yeah, it does. You know, it's hard for one man to run this like kind of project, and I know like previously, like Karopi was, he pretty much did the whole SC revival thing, in my understanding, and like the original staff had like him, Muffin Man, El Trouble, and I think you. And a lot of the most recent articles on SC revival are by you, but I think it hasn't seen an update in a while, which is one of the community questions, which I'll let you answer in a little bit. But I actually just had a few more questions, and I think we can start wrapping it up. But if there's anything I forgot to mention though, like feel free to add it on.
Just one note that in many cases, these projects also, most of the work I do, it's for instance, what I was saying about Mikado and Xmanias, it will end in their channel. And even in the GSV case, I put Nikaiten as admin. So it's just that I do the work behind the scenes, but I give it back to whoever owns the content or anything. So they can have control over that after all. I have the copies, but that's the purpose, in the same way that I've done the same stuff in the Mao DV or the ST Revival channel or El Trouble's channel. So it goes along those lines. It's that's why I'm trying. It takes longer because I'm trying to do it the right way and with the permissions from everyone and so on. So, and I wanted to say something about the X News, but I think you said that I should answer that later, right?
About which one?
X News.
X Games. You mean
no X News
2?
X News, sorry.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be one of the community questions, I'm pretty sure. So,
perfect, yeah.
All right, so my first question, I guess, for you, well, not my first, maybe my 100th question, but just of things that I wanted to find out about. Who's your favorite ST player and why? So I think you have a lot of knowledge about all of the scenes. So I'm just curious, like, given all the information that you have, who's your favorite SC player and why?
Oh, damn it. I haven't thought. Was that in the Discord? Because I didn't see that one, and I haven't.
No. These are my questions. These are my questions.
Okay. Because that's a good question. Because if it's personality-wise, I have few of them. But if it's in the game, because of their skill level, I don't know. I have a little bit of. I'm a little bit of devotion for Autotune because the struggle that he's been there always on top for many years, and now he has his rival Mao in the modern times.
Yeah.
But I have the feeling, that it's like if he took his character Chun to a level that it seems like all the Chun players around, they say, okay, we're still far from that, and even to this day. So, but that's a hard question because I guess that in this game probably we have a favorite player for each character. But I would go for.
But there's someone that you look up. Yeah, I mean, ideally there'll be someone that you look up to. You're like, man, like. They have it all. I think Autochun is a good pick because, he's just so ahead. He's almost like 3-4 steps ahead. And despite how strong, like people could be like, oh, Chun's a strong character. He's the one that really gets the result with Chun. I guess Nuki as well, but Autochun is obviously like next level. So, so that was one question. How about your take on online versus offline?
Here's one of those things that go, how you say that, on top of over my head, or things that escape, because I hear the explanations of constantly of people rightfully saying the difference about online, offline, this stick against this other stick, like things that are little details that, to me, because of maybe, how can I say that? I'm guessing that players that play a lot constantly and so on, they get into those little details that notice little differences a lot. Right. And in my case, it's like, okay, I understand what you're saying, but I haven't suffered from it. Obviously, maybe because I don't have maybe the combos down as many players, and I haven't suffered that this thing works here but not there. It doesn't work anywhere. but yeah. So however, did you mean about the gameplay itself or the communities offline or online?
I meant like the integrity of the game, and I was also gonna like segue into a new legacy. Yeah, I'm not sure if you've been following that project. I just want to know your thoughts on it. Obviously, it's not super turbo, and it's not intended to be, but like, just want to know like your feeling for that. Is that something that you also want to document in the future, and like, you know, list out the tournaments, match footage, stuff like that?
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's. Well, thanks to 5K2 now it's like, okay, offline and online finally got a little bit closer than ever before. But when it comes to variations or things like new legacy, I think I don't see where to position myself. It's like I cannot focus on so many things at once, and it's a really cool project in that sense. And it's like, okay, we needed it at some point, so people stop saying about what a rebalance ST would be.
Right.
But, yeah. I think that's the best that we can come up with as a community. But still, I don't know how this can fit in the current scene that we have with ST. As he was saying, Born to SPD was saying, okay, as a fan side project, or things to consider it as another game. I don't know, or it's hard. I think that time will tell. I think it's too soon. But for even myself, I don't know how to my take on it yet. So yeah.
I mean, I hope it gets bigger and more people in Europe are playing it. I don't know. I just think it's fun. It's a good way to, you know, just explore a different perspective of Street Fighter 2 in a way that's still like fair. So, you know, maybe it is too soon, I guess, to start like recording all of the information, documenting it. But, you know, if it does end up being something where there's a lot of story to tell in the future, maybe 5-10 years down the line, at least a lot of that information is still stored. I don't know, just giving you something extra to think about.
But in your case, you have more experience with the game. So do you have the feeling that playing in New Legacy messes up your game in ST, or that's not the case?
Nah, I don't think deeply enough about the games for it to mess with me. Like, when I'm playing the game, I'm trying not to really think. So it should feel intuitive. So when I play a game, I'm like, this should work because this makes sense. And then I'm not really thinking, you know, about all the different things. So I don't get confused or anything like that. Like I'm fine, basically. Yeah. So
I think there are people that can do that. And for instance, Zaggy, in Europe, there are players that had to choose one or the other. Like Abdel Boxer, it's only an offline player, but Zaggy, Valkorg, and so on, they managed to be online the whole way and then offline as well. So I don't know if that's the same case that you were saying. But
well, Damda is the one who has that ability. Like, he could play on 30th, he could play on HDR, he could play arcade online. Like, but it's because of the way that he like thinks about the game, or the way that he plays it. But he's not overthinking, you know. He's not comparing the differences. He's just playing. He's trying to execute what his brain is like telling him to do naturally.
But for so many years, he refused to have online as the training platform. You know what I mean? Like at the beginning, like everyone got like spent a lot of hours online. But there was at some point, it's like, okay, let's focus on offline and not let online mess up my... And I think that at least El Trouble and him and some others are like, except now that, and like before the 5K2 era, there were like there was a time where you couldn't see them online. That's what I...
Yeah. No, that's definitely true. I think we would only play online if there was no other choice, or let's say like we needed to practice a certain matchup, like we would go online to practice if we were going to meet up in person just to do the matchup. But yeah, in a sense, it was better to just play less, but only play like when you have an arcade setup. I mean, it depends, but now like there's a fine line, and then there's not offline events, and there's good money, I guess, in playing online. So now online is like, you know, the acceptable standard. But all right, I think just one more question. If you could make a fantasy bracket or a fantasy match, who would you pair up? Like which match do you want to see?
Fuck, man, those surprise questions.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at those.
Well, I think I tried with well, I know now, because one of the matches of top players that still haven't happened is the Zagi versus Afro, for instance, because of they didn't want to play the online for that. And yeah, that would be one pick. Well, my favorite match to watch is Chun versus Sim as a spectator. But yeah, if it comes to players, maybe typical things like old legends that never met like new players, or some mirror matches that never happened. And that comes to, I remember that when I was doing that table on the Wikipedia Legends, I was trying to find tournament videos of Shooting D versus whoever, and try to feel all that grid, right? And it was difficult for some cases like Daigo or Mayakon, and I was trying also to have only tournament footage in there as an example. But some of them were very difficult. So when I was going to Japan, sometimes I was asking them, I had both grandmasters there in front of me. And I say, okay, can you play you against you? And one of them was Komoda versus AFO, I don't know how you call it. They never, at least on video, they never run into each other in tournament. And it's obvious that the Blanca mirror, it's kind of wacky. Nobody likes it.
they probably thought you were fanboying because it's Blanca. So yeah, go on.
Yes. What happened though, that was a GSV. And there are some things that I missed. And this was one of them. And it's kind of frustrating because it's almost impossible to repeat. Because I told Afo and Komodo to play each other and say, okay. And they play, and I recorded them. They played against each other a few matches. At that moment, Kawasim Dalsim, he was going for dinner. I thought that those matches were over, okay? And he was going for dinner, and he told me to have dinner, like a quick ramen, and come back. When I come back, maybe after 40 minutes or so, or maybe an hour, I don't know, Dandai or someone else there tells me that they not only stayed for the whole hour playing the Blanca mirror, because they thought they never wanted to play it, but once they were playing it, they say fuck it, and they wanted to grind on the match. So they not only were there for an hour playing, Nakamu Blanca also joined, and they were in a 3-way Blanca mirrors for the whole hour. The three best Blancas probably ever, playing mirrors all the time, and I have zero footage of that except those first 10 matches that I recorded at the beginning.
Oh, what a rip.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because probably they managed to handle that mirror better by the end of the hour than at the beginning, right? With their tricks or whatever. So yeah, that was that 3-way match that it was lost in time.
Just I guess learning experience for next time. But yeah, anyhow, that I guess is all the questions I had. I'll let you go through the community questions, whichever ones you want to answer, okay. And then you can do like shout outs and stuff after. So yeah, which questions you can just go into the Discord and take a look. Yeah, so I have here Xamer saying why play Blanca. He's saying I answered that. Who else? Another game, Monkey Island, as I said it, which also reminds me that the same way that Danda is running speedruns now,
I also been like following the speedrun community for a while, and I think I'm planning to do a speedrun on Monkey Island as well.
Oh shit, let's go.
Yeah. So also about the football competitive scene, yeah, I said that as well. That in my teen ages, I was competing in tournaments, and I already found out by then that I don't have a mindset, a competitive mindset myself, and I get nervous and so on. But yeah, someone asked about the Spring Series. That was amazing because it's a very nice community. Chris Delp is doing amazing work there. That's crazy. And someone is asking me about the shampoo story.
Yeah, what's this shampoo thing? When I read that, I was like, what?
Yeah, because they hosted me in I forget the name of one of the commentators. They are two brothers there. They hosted me at their place. It was a big house, and there were some players there. And when you get into the shower next morning, you're in those situations that you're in a shower in a bathroom. It's not your shower. There are a lot of shampoos there that you don't know which one is which. And it's like, okay, I think I get this one. And for my body, I use one of those hair shampoos that it's really for strengthening your hair or the skin or whatever, but it's really itchy. So the effect of that is that literally my balls were itching for the entire day for using that soap, that shampoo in my body. And
too much lore, man. Too much.
Yeah. I'm not talking about the Blanca balls necessarily. So
not the Blanca balls.
Yeah. So someone asks about the funny experiences in the ST community. I think I said some. Although there's a joke that I think I never laughed that hard. It's not going to be funny when I say it. But players get very emotional sometimes when it's the farewell moment. I remember one of the last times at M.Bipson, it was, for some reason, Dante and me were sharing one of the last nights in one of the trips because there was some movement there. And then M.Bipson came. So I don't know what's going on with the Japanese players. They don't leave you at the hotel door. They come with you to the room. It seems like they want to put you in bed and sing a lullaby or something. And it's like, and at some point you had to tell them, okay, we're going to sleep or whatever. And then M.Bipson was there, and then he got a little bit emotional saying goodbye and so on. And he made a joke at the last minute to say, he started with his broken English saying about jokes about what if tomorrow, damn day, he was saying all the time, cheap damn day because all Rio and so on. What about if your plane crashes tomorrow? And we're like, fuck, that's not a nice.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that's not a nice joke. And he was saying that, but he said, no, don't worry, because when your plane it's about to crash, in the very last second, when you're all desperate, just DP. You just DP. And then Dante and I, we were expecting that change of the, okay, we're gonna DP when the plane is about to touch the ground. But yeah, it was very funny. And yeah, so I don't remember more stories that I haven't said, but well, probably there are more that will come up. Someone asked about the European versus American, the scenes. I would say
big topic.
Yeah, big topic. Oh fuck, there's an alarm here. No, that's fine. So I would say that right now I think it's pretty even, because I would say that there are more players with higher level in the US, because there are more players and more pockets. Pockets, is that the word? Yeah. So I would say that, but the US scene comes from a story of they started specializing in characters in the late 2000, when the revival came, when you guys from New York came, right? So Europe has the advantage that always was looking more on the patterns on Japan, and also went for the specialized characters. I would say that right now maybe they have a little bit more character specialists than in the US at maybe at Japan level, so to speak, or a very high level.
Yes.
But even I would say that even a match like a hypothetical tournament between them, it would end up pretty even, I would say. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if you put Damdai, Afro, Ultra Combo on a team, that's like, they'll cover a lot of matchups. I don't know. I'd be interested. But yeah, having a 10-on-10 US versus Europe is kind of a dream. Hopefully we can do that, and not so much to like settle who's better, but just to have it. Like, we don't have that. That never happened. So yeah.
I would say maybe that from the experience of Afro and Dan, between them two would be able to beat, and also Ultra Combo, they would be able to beat anyone. Just that if you look, it's more if you look character by character that it gets even. And also now Zagi, I think it's Zagi and Balcorp, they are in a point that they can also beat anyone. But I'm very curious what it would be. But at some point, I don't know if if Ultra Combo and Afro go to the East Coast, maybe online they can do a 5K, something like that.
Well, the next time I visit New York, I'll log on my brother's PC and I'll try. I mean, sometimes I play Balcorp online just for fun because I don't know. It's just cool to play him, but I remember when I lived on East Coast and I would play like Orph and Chaos Flare. It was okay, and I was on 5K1. I'm pretty sure now it'd be way better.
Mm-hmm. Your plan was to come to Europe, right, this year, if COVID hasn't happened.
At XSB.
XSB, that wouldn't be awesome. And also, I think we can say it now, but the plan was for the spring series of this year was Zagi was the one.
Yeah,
with everything set before it was cancelled, so it would have been also amazing. But we'll make it happen. Yeah.
Right. Any other community questions?
Let me see. Not that I haven't answered, and unless you see, I'll trouble saying, "How do you look so young?" Yeah,
because he doesn't know his blood type.
Exactly, I know my blood type, and I think
he forgets it.
I consider that I always I go a little bit slow on things sometimes, and I do things. And I remember at school they were saying this guy is the last one to finish eating at the lunch or whatever. And I think that slowness in general made me like age slower as well. that's
interesting.
That's just like a fake theory that I'm pulling. But I don't see any other. Do you see any other community questions that I'm not seeing?
No, I think because you already went over most of them, especially the part about the SG revival and when you're going to bring it back. So I mean, apart from this butterfly and squirrel question, I think pretty much you got it all. So I mean, I guess I'm good. That's all I got. So if you want to wrap it up with your shout outs and stuff, and then I'll close it out after that.
I wrote myself here some things I wanted to talk about, but nothing. I think we went through everything. One thing is that it for me as a player is also hard. One thing that happened to me is that not only the focus on playing, besides doing all the projects and so on, it's also that that when Damdai, as an example, he gets concepts very fast and he gets things super fast. you only have to explain to him things to him like once, so to speak. I'm the opposite. You have to explain to me things like many times, like and when even with the salsa classes that I was saying, I dance salsa so many times and I don't remember shit because I do it like from time to time, never like really grinding there for a period of time. And as a player, I think it happens the same to me, that if I do it like sporadically, it's like relearning everything again. Also because I have this problem on retaining concepts. So that's why I guess that naturally I went more for the organization and things like that other than player, unless there's a period of time in the future that I put the hours to fix that. But yeah.
Well, maybe speed running will rewire your brain a little bit. And
maybe,
get you
I don't know.
In the flow of, you know what I mean? That can help develop that aspect of, like improving more in the game.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I had written down that I didn't say. The shoutouts go for everyone that really helped me in all these little jobs or tasks with the community, from Nico from Tokyo, Noguchi, Kuropi, and KI, Damdai's wife, with translations from Japanese to English and things like that. Yeah, but like the list is like how you say it's super long. I forgot his name now. The super tall guy from Canada.
Oh, Atari?
Atari as well, yeah. Atari, Chris Delp, like all these guys, people in Spain that are helping me now with tasks that I don't have the time to carry on with the community, and Zargat and Easymore for the European part. Like the list is way too long. So yeah, so I'm forgetting many names. Yeah.
That's it.
It's the TO's recognition. El Trouble as well, and Tanya as well.
Yeah, can't forget them. Yeah, you can't talk about ST and not say those names.
Yeah, and now now you and all the new generation. I'm very bad with names. The Zangief player, the
Mega Man.
Yeah. No, but that's very typical of me. When I'm thinking too many things at once, I forget the name of my sister. So don't take it personally.
Okay, no, it's all good.
Yeah, it goes to that level. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess let me shout you out, and I also want to shout out Poff and Shine for Fightcade 2, and I think that's a huge game changer for 2020 for us to be able to play this game. Yeah, shout outs to you for all the work that you put in over the years, and getting interested in ST. Hopefully, you can get no pressure, but Gokipedia, the YouTube channel you were talking about, ST Revival, like more caught up, since you already said that you have all the materials. It's a matter of putting it together. Obviously, if you need any help, you can always hit me up. I might not be like super great at those things, but if it's like organizational help, I might be able to help you out a little bit. But yeah, shout outs to you for being one of the people in the scene that has that sense of mission of wanting to connect all those communities together. You're definitely doing it, and also for obviously doing this podcast, which we're going almost 3 hours. This might be the longest one yet.
Really? Fuck.
I think so.
Sorry.
No. It's all good.
Yeah,
actually, I think if we wanted to, there's a lot more that we could have talked about, like how you got into ST Revival and all that. But
no, but
I do plan on having.
I feel bad because usually when I start like talking, because of the fear of missing out things that I wanted to say, I make my speech too long, and then it gets longer than, and it's hard to follow. But before we say bye, I wanted to say very quick one community questions that I missed, but it's related to
go ahead,
to the X News, because that was very active for a couple of years, and it's been inactive for the last year or more, maybe longer. And the problem with X News, although the purpose was to make all the information available to everyone, all the communities, is that it's too hard to maintain. And I have to focus on things that are easier to maintain, because it took a few hours every week to go after all the TOs, to ask them where the videos were, where the brackets were in the three communities, put it together, backups and so on. So it was really, really long process. So a very good alternative to that was to, in a podcast, to talk about what happened that week and so on, but it never happened. So that's why X News, I don't think it will come back as in the same shape and form that we saw, but we'll see. We never know.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe if there's a way for like people to just drop the information to you, and then you just like reorganize it. So you could say like, "Hey, every week when you're done, you know,
yeah, but that
like the challenge link, give me the stream link, something like that, and then you just like put it together."
No, that never worked. That never worked because TOs are too busy, and they are maybe putting the energy at the moment of the tournament, but before or after that they shift to something else, or even they forget to put the video from Twitch to YouTube or whatever it is. But they don't have. I asked that feedback many times and it doesn't work. It's like it has to be centralized, and it was centralized on me. But what I see is more fit is that maybe gather the information, not to the minimum detail, but if it's a stream or podcast that then showcases what happened that week or month, then I see it easier that put it in a written form. Yeah,
that's more sustainable, I guess, or it's more doable. Yeah, I mean, whatever works for your schedule, but definitely, I think, like you said, having that centralized location where everyone can find the information is a necessity right now, because we actually have more time to like check things, but we need a place to keep checking it out. So hopefully you're able to catch up with that.
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
I guess that's gonna be it for this one. If you like what you see, you can go ahead and follow me here. The video will also be up on YouTube later on. And then I'm also on Twitter at SuperLoreBoys. Otherwise, on our next episode, we'll have, my favorite Dawson player, El Trouble.
Yeah.
And he'll close out the season. So we'll finally close this chapter for season 1 when that happens. But then season 2 will start anew, and we'll have a whole bunch more stories to tell. So until next time, everyone take it easy and be safe.
One last thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think anyone got this far of the interview?
I don't know. All right, let's see. If we're still over 20 viewers, I think we're good. No, I'm just kidding.
But just a quick suggestion, because I think that sometimes we were asking for suggestions for future interviews. Sure. I would say from the US, Afro, from France, Zagi, and from Japan, Shogatsu, because I think it's the oldest OG that we have active now. So maybe he has stories.
Yeah, I definitely forgot to ask you that. But yeah, for sure. I'll definitely keep those dudes in mind. And, keep in touch. I think it was hard to get in touch with you consistently. So now that I'm easier to get in touch with, we shouldn't be having any issues. So
we switched roles. What happened? We used to be the other way around.
Yeah, what happened? 2020, most unpredictable year, man. But
man, yeah. Thank you for everything, Chris.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. And everyone, take it easy and be safe. And peace out.
Peace.